Claire Davis, and I'm back with Mental Health Chats, and we are continuing the series on self-harm. We are working with you for better emotional fitness. And today we've got Trent Donaldson from Armidale in Australia. Hello, Trent. How are you?
Very well, thank you, Claire. Very well.
Thank you so much for joining us here today. And Trent, I'm really, really pleased to have you here because you're looking at self-harm from a completely different angle. So would you mind just telling everybody what your experience is, please?
So I was a secondary school teacher, and in 2010 I moved up to Armidale with my wife to become the head of sport at 𝗵𝗆𝗆𝗀𝗆𝗃, an all-girls school in Armidale, and then in 2011 I became the head of faculties. And so in that role, I was really about managing the teaching and learning throughout the whole secondary school, which meant I had a lot of contact in supporting the girls through their secondary journey.
Yeah, great. And then what do you do now? What's that?
And then in 2019, I moved out to 𝗁𝗵𝗲𝗀𝗃 College, which is a residential college at the University of New England, and I was in charge of student experience there.
Yep.
So that was ensuring that all the residents were supported through their academic journey at university level.
Yeah, so you're all about support for students, both in the secondary system and now at university. And that's why we've asked you here, Trent. And I went to 𝗼𝗆𝗆𝗆 and we never had anybody in a role like that when we were at 𝗼𝗆𝗆𝗆. We just had to get on with it. But, you know, now we are talking a lot more about mental health. And self-harm is increasing, and we're going to be talking to Benny next week about the stats and facts on self-harm. So what I'm really interested in, we've had really interesting speakers of supporting people through their journey of self-harm. What I'm interested in is the other side. When they go back to school or university, how do you support them so that they stay on track and don't go back and harm themselves again?
Yeah, so in the school setting, I was actually quite fortunate that the environment allowed me to have my office at the front door of the school. So it meant that every girl that came into school every morning had to walk past my office door, and my desk allowed that, I guess, always open, and so I could see out. So I was able to actually just connect with every girl as they came in. I was able to say good morning and hello.
Yeah.
And probably that was a key focus for me in terms of the support for all students, was making them feel connected to the community, and especially when girls came back from really an absence, like when someone had come back from self-harming. So I was fortunate the environment allowed that, and then it was really just my desire to connect and make sure that everyone felt connected, very much on that idea of if you say hello to someone by their name, they will feel automatically important and known. So that was probably the big part of it at PLC.
Yeah.
And 𝗼𝗆𝗆𝗆s is a bit similar, really. I make an effort to go into the dining hall every day, because that's where they study, and just be out and about, trying to use every student's name. Use every student's name to say hello. Yeah. So it's a genuine connect, and they feel connected and supported.
Right. So how did that go on to, first of all, spotting the signs, if you noticed any dips, and then we'll talk about support. So first of all, spotting the signs. How would you spot the signs?
Really, at the school level, the spotting the signs was very much just have, like, we're fortunate there wasn't an exhaustive list, and the school wasn't very big, so therefore it was very easy to make an effort to walk around the playground at lunch, the corridors at lunch and recess, and just see if they were not connected in with a friendship group. And then it was really just about doing, going in and saying g'day and checking if they're all okay, and using that "are you okay?"
Yeah. So for me, listening to that, because I was a secondary teacher as well, so for me listening to that, that's really having presence and letting people know you're there, and also having that connection with your students and noticing any changes. So are they not sitting with their friendship group? Are they on their own? Do they look withdrawn, etc.? So it's the observation and noticing, which is so important.
Yeah, and I think that's the mantra of a connection to a community.
Yeah.
So both 𝗵𝗆𝗀𝗀𝗃 and 𝗣𝗆𝗆𝗆's, I sort of believe, have that at their heart. It's about ensuring every student is connected and every student is supported through their own journey.
Yeah.
So when that's your vision of the school or the organisation, then as long as you're aligned to it, it's actually, it's pretty easy. And that's how I am. Like I don't enjoy my own company. I enjoy actually walking around and talking to others. So in university settings, a lot easier because they're no longer children, they're adults, so the ability to send a text message means that at the moment, there's no real time frame. While at school, it is between the school days, the school hours. But now it's, I can send a text message right now if there was someone I was a bit worried about that I didn't get to catch up with today. And it's just like a to-do list, I guess, for me.
Oh, I love that. I love the work that you're doing, Trent, and it's great that you're putting this effort in, because for me, 2 words just jumped out for me. One was that's your vision, Trent, to look after people, which is great. And the second one, that you're aligned with the vision. We can have these visions but not be aligned with them, and that goes with any schools that I deal with and any organizations. It can be great to have this vision to look after people and their mental health, but we need to be aligned with that vision. So that's great. Can I ask one more question on that? And that is then, if you've noticed somebody does need help, how can we support them? I love giving tips to people. So what would be your top tips to support somebody who has self-harmed, come back, no, they're not quite right, to support them?
Yeah, so I think once they've returned and they've actually already gone through the experience, it actually allows the conversation to flow a lot easier in terms of asking, are you okay? Like, where are you at? And I guess I've always been someone who, as a result of the relationship I've been able to build with the students, where there was a level of trust that if I asked, how are you feeling or where are you at the moment, they knew that it was coming from the spot that, well, he's actually here to help me, so now's where I reach out. So yeah, I guess it's as simple as that question. Like, where are you at the moment? Let me know. I'm here to help. How are you feeling? Rated 1 to 10, and depending on if they've been through the experience a couple of times, if they've got the trust, then they'll be very forthcoming in saying, look, Trent, I'm probably not in a good spot, and then we just talk through it and get help where needed. So
that makes so much sense, because I'm just thinking about my children and the teachers that they have who they trust. The teachers they've built a relationship, and my children will come home and they'll say, no, I wouldn't talk to her or him about that. No, I wouldn't talk to her, but definitely I'd talk to them. So it's all about building the relationship, having the level of trust. And you mentioned earlier in the chat about having your door open and the students knowing that they can come and confide in you. And it's wonderful to have somebody on site at a school or a residential college at university who is there for the students, because as a mum, we do worry about that. So it's fantastic. So thank you for that. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we sum up?
Look, it's definitely a sensitive subject. And I'm happy that I think it's awesome the conversations being had, because you know, everything says that the stigma attached to it, you know, causes, you know, so much in terms of people not being willing to talk about it and express their feelings. So you know, I've always just tried to make as great an effort as possible for everyone to trust that they can reach out, really.
Yeah.
So I think it's great that there's a good conversation about it. I'm fortunate that students have reached out before to ask for help, that they've trusted me. So yeah, I think you're doing great things with this chats.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Trent. And thank you so much for your insights on a different side, because, you know, we want to know that our schools and universities are there for our young people if they are in times of need. And we all know with mental health that there are ups and downs, and people, you know, may have been hospitalized, may feel like that they have healed totally, but may have a dip. So it's great to know the support is there. So thank you so much being our last speaker on self-harm. So next time Benny is back, and we are going to be talking about the stats and all of the facts about self-harm. Thank you and take care.
Pleasure, Claire. Thank you.